I'm thrilled to be here. It's just great to be back in Chicago. I haven't been here for a very long time.
This podcast is sponsored by Release Winery. Every wine tells a story. Each growing season, it's our goal to create an artisan Napa Valley wine of exceptional quality. Join us as the story of this ultra-limited wine continues. Learn more at releasewinery.com.
So we're one of Australia's oldest family-owned and operated wine companies. We were established by my great-great-grandfather all the way back in 1886.
So it's like 5 generations?
Yeah, my brother, sister and I are all part of the 5th generation. My great-great-grandfather was actually a doctor, and he travelled from the UK and travelled with his wife and 5 young children on a ship and set up a medical practice in the Adelaide foothills. And he started making wine and brandy for his patients, and that's where the business started. It's a really great family business to be a part of. So I'm the oldest, but my brother and I are very close. There's only 17 months between us, so I think they, the Irish twins type thing. But then my sister Sophie is 5 years younger, so. So we are based in McLaren Vale. So McLaren Vale is a beautiful but very small region, about 45 minutes south of Adelaide in South Australia. McLaren Vale is really highly regarded for our beautiful Shiraz and also our Grenache. And they're the 2 varietals that we're really showcasing here in Chicago. But our family has also, we're quite new arrivals to McLaren Vale. So I said earlier we were established in the Adelaide foothills, but we fell in love with McLaren Vale about 20 years ago. We'd been working with some grape growers in the region, buying small parcels of Shiraz, and we just love the diversity of viticultural regions through McLaren Vale, but also the style of Shiraz that we saw and we were tasting. And so in 2008 we purchased the Warboys vineyard right in the heart of McLaren Vale, and the Warboys vineyard is home to 90-year-old Shiraz vines, Grenache vines that are about 55 years old, and just producing some absolutely outstanding flavour-packed wines. But one of the things that we love about McLaren Vale is that it's a really Mediterranean climate. It's on the coast, so it's got a lovely coastal influence that just particularly in the evenings cools down the vineyard. But the Mediterranean climate is also allowing us to do some really fun experimentation with some other Mediterranean varietals. So about 3 years ago we planted some Fiano, so an Italian white grape varietal that just seems to love our region. We also work with some friends and their Vermentino. We're doing a little bit with Tempranillo, but it really is Shiraz and Grenache that we're here to showcase here in Chicago. It was never assumed, and so Dad ran the business from as long as I can remember, and he used to take my brother and I into the winery on the weekends, give Mum a break, and we'd run around, and we grew up on one of the vineyards, and so we used to. It was always a great place to grow up as a kid on a vineyard, and with a lot of freedom and. But it was never expected, and I think that was an absolute gift that Mum and Dad gave us, and because the pressure just was never there. I, on the other hand, was pretty hell-bent that I was going to run the family business, and there's a story that goes that when I was 9, my grandfather, who was the chairman of the business at the time, for some reason came and collected me from school, which in and of itself was unusual. And he said to, and the story that Dad tells is that he looked at me and he said, "Oh, Scrap," because he called all the grandkids Scrap, because we were convinced he didn't know what our real names were, yeah. So we were all Scrap. "Scrap, what do you want to do when you grow up?" And I apparently looked him in the eye and said, "I'm going to run your winery for you, Grandpa." And but from a really young age, I've always just loved the wine business. And I saw, as I got older and I did a commerce degree, which is a business degree in Australia. But I saw this incredible opportunity to put my 2 loves together. So I absolutely love travelling, and I just love the opportunity to take Australian wine to the world. And so when I was in my early 20s, we'd had quite a lot of change in our business. and I saw a great opportunity to start opening new export markets and supporting export markets that were already in existence. And so I packed my bags, and I quite regularly spent a lot of time in market showcasing our wines to lots of different customers, and that's where it all started.